Nagoriyuki is one of the new characters to the Guilty Gear franchise. He excels at a slow and defensive playstyle that controls the neutral, catching your opponents off guard. He has one of the highest damages in the game due to his ability to cancel specials into one another. He has incredibly long range in the neutral that gets extended with the blood gauge. He also has higher chip damage than most other characters due to the effects of his blood gauge and his normals contributing to his chip damage. However, when the blood gauge fills up, it causes Nagoriyuki to transform, which leaves him highly punishable and causes him to take massive damage while in this form. He also has low mobility with no real normal dash, and all of his moves have a slower startup time than most other characters. Nagoriyuki plays very differently compared to other characters in Strive. You have to play a lot more patiently since he's overall a slow character and takes a while to get going. The way you and your opponent play throughout the match will change depending on how full your blood gauge is. Your blood gauge fills up anytime you use a special attack or dash. Unlike other characters, Nagoriyuki can only dash using a command input. Dashing doesn't fill the gauge up too much, while using special attacks fill it up much faster. The gauge fills up even faster when you cancel specials into one another. This can lead to big damage, but you have to be careful on how often you do this. Since Nagoriyuki is able to cancel his specials into one another, he can make any one of his moves safe by canceling into a special or command dashing out of there. You must constantly be watching your blood gauge, being very careful not to fill it up all the way. When it fills up completely, Nagoriyuki goes into a blood frenzy, putting him in a highly punishable state. Additionally, you lose the ability to use special moves and take constant damage until the bar is depleted. However, you can use the blood gauge to your advantage. Your heavy slash attacks change as your blood gauge fills up. These attacks get extended range for each block you fill with the blood gauge. Your chip damage also increases as your blood gauge increases. The range you gain from this is pretty huge. You can pretty much outrange any other character in the game except for maybe Axel with 2 blocks of blood gauge full. Use this to control the neutral. You want to manage your blood gauge by controlling your offense. While you can cancel a bunch of moves together non-stop, you'll want to stick to 1 or 2 of them per block string or combo to prevent yourself from filling up too fast. That being said, it can be difficult to play out the match with an empty blood gauge due to your shorter range normals. The key is to know when to do short bursts of aggression when going on the offense, or when to capitalize on counter hits for big damage. You can also end every move with a command dash to make sure you're safe and reset the neutral. Normal slash and heavy slash attacks will lower the blood gauge on hit even if it's blocked. This is shown by the blood particles that fly off the sword and towards Nagoriyuki after he lands a hit. It's important to use these attacks to control the space in neutral, not just to get your offense going, but to manage your blood gauge and keep it in a reasonable state. Nagoriyuki's command throw will deplete his blood gauge completely if he lands it. However, this does not happen immediately and gives you a chance to go crazy with the cancels and apply heavy pressure to your opponent. The grab has a pretty short range, making it hard to land in many situations. It works well off his command dash, but the command dash itself is not a safe move and can be beaten out by mashing or jumping. Don't spam the command throw. Instead, spend time getting your opponent to block on your pressure strings. Once you've got them used to blocking, that's when you could throw in a command dash forward and sneak in one of those command throws. Nagoriyuki doesn't have very good defensive options, and with his incredibly slow startup time on most of his moves, it can be good to save that meter to use defensively. Using faultless defense sparingly to push your opponent a bit further back can get you out of many sticky situations. That extra distance can cause your opponent to whiff, potentially giving you enough time to punish or just give you enough time to super jump out of there. YRCs, or Yellow Roman Cancels, are of course a great option to go with as well. Because of the way Nagoriyuki's specials can cancel into each other, you don't end up using Roman Cancels as often to extend your combos. While the meter can still, of course, be spent on offense, it is always good to have at least 50 tension at the ready to help you out on defense. Here are some combos you can use with Nagoriyuki. But before that, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button if you're enjoying the video so far and want to see more Guilty Gear Strive content.
Bring it out,